So this is what a subdural hematoma looks like on CT scan. It's this area right over here. Notice how it's white. The reason it's white is that the iron in the hemoglobin absorbs the X-rays, which causes it to appear as white, the same way the skull appears as white. Keep in mind that this probably took a while to develop because it started as a slow leak over here, and only over time did it move things over. So the one thing to keep in mind in this CAT scan, again, here's where the blood is that the one important thing you should notice right away is that here's one of the centers, here's one of the centers. So if we were to draw a straight line here, which I can't draw a straight line, notice the significant midline shift. So this subdural hematoma over here is pushing the brain this way, and you can see that the ventricles are shifted this way. This is generally a bad sign, and this person probably has neurological deficits, or at least has significant neurological signs. Keep in mind that when all this started, this thing didn't suddenly magically appear. It probably started over here, and then got bigger and bigger. When it was teeny and small over here, the person had no symptoms, most likely, except maybe possibly concussive symptoms, but certainly no symptoms from the subdural. And that would have been the time to intervene and show on CT scan that they actually had a subdural, because then they go off to the neuro ICU, or actually more likely the trauma service, where they are watched closely and frequently will get another CT scan within the next 12 to 24 hours or when they show symptoms. So keep in mind, again, big teaching point over here with the subdural hematomas is that when it's small over here, they'll have no neurological symptoms, which is why we do not use a normal neurological exam to exclude the need for a CT scan, ever. All we need is mechanism. So normal neurological exam does not exclude the need for a CT scan. If they have an abnormal neurological exam, then you should be doing the CAT scan without any hesitation, but a normal neurological exam does not exclude it if they meet criteria. So the criteria we use are both New Orleans and Canadian CT rules. One of the absolute rules is that if the person is 65 years or older, they get a CAT scan of their head. This is an absolute criteria to CAT scan their head. So if you're going to CAT scan their head, all right, for the love of God, CAT scan their cervical spine. Don't just CAT scan their head, CAT scan their cervical spine as well. They're old. They frequently have a distracting injury. Right? And you'd be surprised the weird things you find in old people that have CT scans of their cervical spine. In the elderly and in trauma, a CT scan of the head and a CT scan of the cervical spine, just do it. Don't hesitate. If you're CAT scanning the head, CAT scan the cervical spine in trauma and the elderly. These two things, like Frank Sinatra says, go together like love and marriage, a horse and carriage, an olive and a martini, peanut butter and jelly, sex and chocolate. Do not even think twice about the ionizing radiation you're going to give them. Trust me, something will kill them long before the dose of ionizing radiation you gave them. Before the ionizing radiation has some sort of effect that will cause cancer later on, some previous cancer will kill them, a stroke will kill them, an MI will kill them, actually a fall is likely to kill them, right? Keep in mind, you could stick these people in a vacation cabin, in a dacha, in the blocked off area next to Chernobyl. They could spend their summers there and something else is going to kill them. If you're going to CAT scan the head and the elderly, for the love of God, CAT scan the cervical spine. Next, we're going to go back to the wound of the hand, which is where we began before this little sort of side jaunt into bleeds in the head.